Oh my goodness, Joe, it's almost beyond light, kind of, almost.
Almost. Almost.
Almost. Hey, that's Joe, and I am Jan, or Matt, and we're here to talk to you about stuff from Destiny.
Nah.
Right, Joe?
Nah. That's a lie. We're
My
just going to
mistake.
waste everyone's time for an hour, obviously.
Dude, yeah, for real. Hey, before you listen to this, though, you should go follow us on Twitter, at MeMachineCast. And you should also tell your friends about us, because, that's a cool thing to do. Joe, what have you been doing in Destiny?
Kind of the same as last week. More bright dust grinding.
Oh, yeah?
I hate it.
Why is that?
Because it is an incredibly tedious grab 5 bounties, launch the haunted forest, crank those out in 5 minutes, and then do that over and over again for an extended period of time, and it's not very fun.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like it's fun.
No, I'm probably, for the sake of my own sanity, I'm probably just going to stop, because fuck this.
Yeah. I'm already pretty much done, so at this point it's housekeeping. You know what I have to look forward to over the next couple of days? Grinding Lega Shadows GMs for Mats and a lot of Reckoning.
Fast armor drops?
No, just filling out my collection of Gambit Prime armor that I've been missing.
Yeah, good point.
That way, because it's all going away, that way it's in my thing in case I ever want to, make my armor look like the middle tier of collector armor for whatever reason.
To be honest, I can't even remember that there's a visual difference between those 3 sets.
The color, well, yeah, I don't think there is actually.
Yeah, is there?
I think they get darker, they get blacker as you go higher up.
Oh, interesting.
They're like a tan closer to like the Ancient Apocalypse armor.
Oh, well. I'd put a shader on them anyway, so I don't fucking care what they look like normally.
Dude, true. Yeah, I spent a lot of time today just turning in planetary materials for a reason that you'll find out here soon.
Yeah, that's I gotta do that after.
Yep. Oh yeah, all sorts of fun. So we can get into it. Just to let you know right off the bat, we are going to be talking about the Vidoc, the roadmap, and the launch trailer. But that won't be until after we cover the TWAB and some stuff that Luke Smith has said, because in case anyone wants to avoid spoilers.
Which, if you are, good fucking luck.
Yeah, for real. And here's my thing, and I've said this before, whatever they're showing us is the tip of the iceberg. Like Forsaken, they didn't like there was so much more going on there than just like the Barons and Aldrin. And in Shadowkeep, there's so much more going on rather than the Hive getting angry and putting a big red dong on the moon. And so now with all they've shown us, if this is all they're showing us, there's so much more to be seen.
Oh, for sure. I mean, there is, again, we'll mention it later. There's one thing in particular that I think they shouldn't have shown, personally, but that's just me.
I mean, yeah, we can get into that.
Yeah. But,
anyway.
Yeah, before then, so...
we've got a TWAB.
Yeah, pretty long one. But, so it starts off talking about the Vidoc and the roadmap, which we will get to later, as mentioned, and the meat of it. So they give us actual numbers for what the soft, hard, and pinnacle caps are going to be next season, which
didn't surprise any of us, I don't think.
No, everyone knew what these were going to be, but just in case you didn't, the new soft cap is going to be 1,200, the new hard cap is going to be 1,250, and the new pinnacle cap will be 1,260. They are making
pretty standard stuff.
Yeah, it's that they've been following the same formula for a while.
Yeah, it's a what? 150 light increase, or 100 or 200 by the time you get to the top.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's not too surprising.
Nope.
We knew that because all of the armor says what light level it can be infused to, and that's what Season of Dawn armor said.
Yep. The only other thing of note from that is that any gear you have, the new floor for light level is going to be 1050. So anything you have managed to not infuse up yet is going to get brought up to 1050. All new characters will start at 1050. whatever.
I swear to God, if they make my Zero Light Traveler's Chosen or my Zero Light Armor anything else, like if they try to put light levels on that, I'll riot.
I'd like to see that.
You'd riot?
Yeah, it'd be fun.
Okay. Just for you. Powerful ward changes.
Yep.
Yep. They're going to be, and I kind of like this, if I'm being honest.
Same.
Obviously, anything that's the things from destinations that are going away that are powerful drops now are going away. But what they are changing is the fact that Strikes, Gambit, and Crucible will continue to drop powerful things as you grind them. However, the way they said it makes me think it's not going to be like, at the end of Strike rewards are going to be powerful drop every time. What I think it's going to be is that it'll be an end of a chance at a powerful drop once you finish the activity. And if you don't get one, your chances increase until you do get one, and then it resets.
Hopefully it's something like that. Or it could just be complete RNG, which is what my money's on.
Yeah, that sounds about right, too.
Yep. But yeah, so you'll be able to just grind whatever you want until the end of time to get to the hard cap, which is nice.
So if you're a day one team, your best bet's probably going to be to get to soft cap and then get all your powerfuls done and then just stomp in a six stack in Crucible.
Yeah, assuming you're good enough in Crucible. If you're
not, split up, do strikes.
Yeah. We finally got an answer about a couple of things here. So some token changes that are coming. So Bungie has decided that it is boring to sit in front of a vendor and feed them tokens until you hit soft cap.
Which I think I agree with.
Yeah, to be fair, they are right. So as starting next season, all gear that you get from vendors for turning in tokens or planetary mats will be either will be starting at 1050 at the start of the season, or no, it will be minus 20 under whatever your current level is. So like for everybody right now, it's going to be capped at 1050 at the start because you'll either be 1050 to 1060 and it can't be lower than that. And then as you climb, it will always be minus 20 below you. And gear you receive from collections is also affected in this. I don't know why. It's an odd change, but that will always be 1050 rather than 20 light below like it is now.
Yeah, I don't understand it either because, like, taking things from collections was always a good way to quickly get something up to close enough to high level if you needed to.
Yeah, to, like, be usable in some things. But now it's just like, nah, fuck you. But whatever. I mean, like, most of the time I pulled something from collections, I immediately infused it up anyway. Or I'm using it in content where it doesn't matter. So,
yeah.
I don't know. So it's not a big deal. It's just an odd thing for them to have changed.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with it. Like, it'll make it more interesting grinding. You got to feel bad, though, for Sweatsickle. Because, he went out and ground out 20,000 of each token, I think. But I think even he has said he's happy with it because he never liked the token grind. But he felt like he had to do it to be competitive in the world's first race. And now we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, I mean...
So you can actually, play the game to get better loot, which is pretty neat if you ask me.
12,000 was definitely overkill.
Yeah. 20. 2-0.
Oh, fuck.
0-0-0.
That's... Yeah, no. Well, that was his... That's all his fault.
And then we get on to economy changes, of which there are several.
Yeah. So... all of the...
Actually, I feel like I should talk about this one.
Oh, yeah. This affects you more than it does me.
Planetary materials, the ones for the places that are going away. So that is Phase Glass Needles from Io, Alkane Dust from Titan, Simulation Seeds from Mercury, and Seraphite from Mars. They will all remain in-game and usable throughout Season 12 or Season of the Hunt. But you won't be able to get more of them because, they're going away. But you can continue to spend them normally. I think things will still, like upgrade modules and Spider should still offer them to buy them. But then if the end of the season, if you have any left, Spider will take them away from you for Glimmer, because starting in season 13, they'll be worthless and you won't be able to turn them in anywhere. So what I'm doing, and I probably would recommend everyone else do, is turn in about 90% of your planetary materials at the vendor, because that's going to be your best bang for your buck. You're just going to be pressing left mouse button a lot. But then save like 400 or 500 of them, which is what I'm doing. So I just, before we started recording, I spent like an hour and a half zoning out watching Twitch and turning in 4,500 or up between 4,500 and 4,800 planetary materials at all 4 of those destinations. I should rephrase that. About 4,500 planetary materials at each destination. And I got like 10,000 Glimmer and 2,500 or 3,000 shards to show for it. And then a bunch of mod components and enhancement cores. So, yeah.
Go get rid of all your shit.
Yep. And there will be more stuff leaving the game, but we'll talk about that a little bit later.
Yep. Let's see.
Bounties.
Yeah, so most of this is just changes TBD. But they are continuing to say that they will be shifting the importance of seasonal bounties in terms of reducing it. And they are planning on replacing weekly bounties entirely with a, quote, new mechanism that will provide non-expiring account-scoped objectives each week that will give season rank progress. How that matters and how they implement it, who the fuck knows? We find out next.
It just sounds like challenges with extra steps.
Yeah, it sounds like that's a season 13 thing. The fact that they're removing the weekly bounties entirely is really interesting because of the next thing that we're going to get into.
Yeah.
But, of course, there's a lot of info here that we just don't know because this is a change that isn't happening until the season after next. So we'll just have to wait and see on that. The season that is, or the change that is happening next season is with the season pass and with Bright Dust, where they are adding a bunch of Bright Dust to the season pass. The free path will now give you 7,500 Bright Dust. The paid path will give you an additional 3,000 on top of that, so 10,500 in total. But the downside of this is that they are removing 100 Bright Dust from the weekly bounty. So instead of giving you 200, they will now give you 100 each. For the overwhelming majority of the player base, I would assume that this is a net gain. However, for people that grinded out all 6 bounties on all 3 characters every week, which it is important to remember before we all get our pitchforks out, that is a very, very small percentage of the player base. It is a loss of about 15,000 Bright Dust a season, give or take, depending on seasonal events and whatnot.
Which is still a lot of Bright Dust.
Yeah, it's not good. I mean, it's like, for me, I play the game. I play the game a lot. I would like to think I play the game significantly more than the overwhelming majority of players. I think my playtime and my achievements in game would back that up without any argument. And I wasn't doing all the weekly bounties. And no. I guarantee that a significant portion of the people who are mad about this change weren't doing all their weekly bounties anyway. So fuck those people. But yeah, for the people that actually were doing everything,
here's what I'm thinking. Like, is the season pass giving you enough to justify having to do twice as many bounties to get the same amount of Bright Dust? Because how much is it giving now?
I'd have to check, but I want to say it's in the neighborhood of 3,000.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe then.
Yeah, here it is. 2,700 Bright Dust from the season pass currently.
Oh, all right. So we are getting a lot more.
Yeah, I mean
And it will be.
it's an increase, but yeah, I mean the thing is, this does legitimately suck for a portion of the player base, and I don't think it's necessarily like the negative part of this change. I don't think needed to be made, or at the very least didn't need to be like it didn't need to be cut in half. I think something that's worth remembering is that bright engrams are whatever they're going to be called in the next season. I don't remember. Are going to contain more content than they have previously. And
It looks like substantially more.
yeah, and a lot of the way that people spend Bright Dust is getting old stuff for silver that they had missed before. And that's not going to be happening anymore. So like the entire Bright Dust economy is going to be different with with these engrams dropping more stuff. And on top of that, the people who are doing all these bounties are getting more of those engrams to begin with. So I don't know. It like a lot of this is just on paper. We don't really know exactly how it would work out. And the thing about Bright Dust is it's not dependent on RNG. You can choose to buy something or not. Whereas with the bright engrams, you don't know what you're going to get. So yeah, it's this is a good and a bad change, in my opinion.
Yeah, that sounds about right to me. Like, and I'm not sure how much it'll affect me, and it's not like that's gonna change in the week and a half left before Beyond Light comes out. But I think they're like, I mean, it's obvious that the weekly bounty change was made because they have a number in mind of how much Bright Dust they expect people to get every season and how much they want to spend. And it's very obvious that they want that number to be relatively low so that you can't afford to buy everything from the season with Bright Dust.
Yeah. But
like that's just a fact. Like we're never going to get enough Bright Dust to be able to afford everything from a given season.
You're always going to have to choose.
And I just don't buy that much. Like unless it's really cool. Cuz the thing is we have so many emotes, so many ships, so many ghosts, like so many finishers too at this point that I'm like I'm happy with the ones I have now. Like and something really has to jump out at me for me to get it. I don't think I bought anything from the Halloween stuff other than the shaders.
Yeah, for me shaders are the big thing.
Yep.
There are occasionally there's a standout emote that I definitely want and maybe a ship, but I mean like I've been obviously this is different, like this is going to be different for everybody, but I've been using the same fucking ship since Forsaken. I've been using Queen of Hearts since Forsaken, and I'm never taking it off. Like like occasionally I will for a brief period. Like I used the Whisper ship for a bit, because it's really fucking cool. There's a couple other ones I've used for small periods of time, but it's like I like what I like, and I'm gonna keep using what I like. But yeah, I don't know. The Bright Dust economy is always gonna be tough. It's just the nature of microtransactions, and people are just there are always gonna be people who are unhappy, and I'm not saying that's unjustified. It's just we're never gonna be happy with how this system works. That's just the unfortunate reality.
Yeah. And yeah. But I mean, there's not much more we can say about it that hasn't been said by DTG, and they will voice their displeasure, I'm certain.
Yeah.
I haven't dug too deep, but I'm sure it's there.
Pretty much every single take about Bright Dust has already been made now, and will continue to be made until the end of time.
So the next thing we have is, I don't think it's going to affect me personally too much, any of it, because I'm a rich boy. But if you're a poor boy who lives on, you live on scraps and you are essentially paycheck to paycheck in Destiny terms, these changes probably are going to help you. But they're doing some spider stuff.
Yeah. So Spider isn't selling legendary shards anymore because no one was buying them. So who the fuck cares? And one thing that is a little weird, he's going to start selling enhancement prisms for 400 legendary shards. Which is a ridiculous amount. And you can only get 3 of them a week.
Yep.
So I think...
Wait, yeah. Yeah.
I think I saw some other people do some math on it. And essentially, if you buy all of the prerequisite materials to purchase an enhancement prism from Banshee, you are spending 100 less legendary shards. It may be more. Like, it was either 100 or 150. I can't be bothered to look it up. No one's gonna fucking buy these anyway. So.
For context, for dismantling a legendary piece, you get 4 legendary shards. So each week to get his enhancement prisms and stay on level, to not lose legendary shards, you would have to dismantle 300 pieces of gear a week.
Jesus Christ. Oh, yeah, that ain't fucking happening.
So, yeah.
Yeah, honestly, something like this change is specifically, honestly, for players like you, if they ever get lazy enough to not grind enhancement prisms for a little bit.
Yeah, me sitting here with my, let's see, 12... Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry, not 12,000. 13,430 legendary shards. Before I turned in all this planetary materials, I was sitting on the low end of 11,000.
Yeah, I have 4,000 right now.
I'm a rich boy.
Yeah, you are. You fucking weirdo.
Well, I don't spend them on anything.
I don't spend mine either.
Well, play more, idiot.
Yeah, apparently I just don't play enough. But yeah, so the one other change is enhancement core purchasing from Spider is changing. Currently, for those who don't know, the initial cost for one is 10 legendary shards, and then each time you purchase them, that cost doubles. But you can buy as many as you want. They're changing it so that they cost a flat 30 legendary shards, and you can buy at max 5 a day.
Yeah, so that is, what, 150?
Yeah.
Total?
So, again, this is a little bit of a weird change. For most people, I would imagine if they did buy enhancement cores from Spider, they were buying 2 of them for 30 shards. And then that was it.
Yep, that's me.
And now they get 1 of them for the same cost. So, really, this isn't a good change. I don't understand why Bungie did this. I
think they assume there's a lot more people going out there and buying 5 a day, which again is a great way to lose more legendary shards than you can get. I think that's a big reason I have so many, is I'm just very smart about spending them.
Yeah, like it's weird. I mean, obviously they have all the internal data in the world that says whether or not they should make these changes the way they do. But it's
which
still
is exactly why they got rid of the legendary shards, which makes sense because literally no one was doing it.
Yeah. But this just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Like, were there a ton of people out there who were spending 320 or however many legendary shards it was to get 5 shards or 5 enhancement cores a week? I don't know. This change is stupid.
No.
To speed run through the rest of the TWAB because it's all pretty small things.
Yeah, I like this thing though.
Oh yeah,
changing the sparrows.
Yeah.
So they said that people asked like, oh, so are we going to get a speed demon perk and what's it going to cost? They said, good news, speed demon is being deprecated. Instead, Transmog preloader or instant summon is becoming intrinsic to all legendary and exotic sparrows. So let's just give some claps for Bungie because that is a phenomenal decision. And now everyone who knows what they're doing will never take off always on time.
Yep. They did say that if you have a sparrow that has Transmog preloader on it currently, when the new season starts, just pull a new one from collections until you get one that has different perks that you like, since you don't need to worry about that perk anymore.
Nope.
But yeah, just just use Always on Time. It's the best Sparrow now.
Yeah, like objectively speaking.
Yeah, I mean, like, it pretty much already was, but now there's no question about it. So, I hope everyone has Always on Time.
Yeah, if you don't, you better go get it.
Yeah. And then let's see.
Eververse changes. This one's kind of cool. We kind of mentioned it already. Yeah.
Yeah, bright engrams are everything. Bright engram loot pools will now be everything from season 1 up to season 3 prior. I think I'm misreading this.
You are.
Essentially,
it'll be everything from season 1 up to 3 season prior.
Oh, okay, yes. So everything from season 1 to 9 for next season.
Yes.
Okay.
And then season 13, it'll be everything from seasons 1 through 10.
Yeah. So, like we said, the bright engram loot pool is way bigger, which is part of why your anger about Bright Dust doesn't matter.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then couple minor things. Flashpoints, all adventures, and world quests from year 1 are going away, which includes the ones from like Nessus and EDZ, the locations that aren't leaving. So, like if you somehow don't have Sturm or Mida, go get them. There's a bunch of, they mention, and we'll go into the list here in a minute, about some other depreciating items. Whatever.
Depreciating just means they lose value.
Yeah. Another reminder about the 14 hours of maintenance that will happen before Beyond Light, starting at 7 p.m. PST, or 10 p.m. Eastern, and ending at 9 a.m. PST or 12 p.m. Eastern, for the launch of Beyond Light. And another reminder to claim and equip
one more reminder.
any titles that you have to make sure that they don't accidentally get eaten by the game.
Yep.
Just do it. It's stupid. You shouldn't have to.
That would feel like doo-doo for that to happen.
But just do it.
Just do it.
And so the deprecating items. So essentially everything related to content that is getting vaulted, all those random miscellaneous inventory items are going away. So things like Imperials, Black Armory schematics, Rasputin Armory codes, they are all just going to get poofed from your inventory.
Bye-bye.
There are some things that some people will be sad about. So like random odds and ends, like Cade's old chest items or expired ramen coupons are being sent away. I know there are a lot of players out there, myself included, who have been hoarding these items for their sentimental value. They are all gone. So we will all cry in our corner together as our items get deleted. But honestly, at the end of the day, it is Bungie forcing us to have more vault space. So whatever. Stuff like faction tokens is going. Other random things like that. So.
And Wealth of the Emperor buffs are gone. Thank God. You're not gonna have 2 random Wealth of the Emperor buffs sitting on your yourself for no reason.
Yay!
Doing nothing.
Could you not dismantle those?
The buffs that's always on.
Oh shit! Is it?
Yeah, there's always 2 Wealth of the Emperor buffs on you at all times, and it's super annoying.
Yeah, I just never noticed.
Idiot.
Apparently. So yeah, all that stuff is going bye-bye. There is a full list that Bungie has put out. It's linked in the show notes if you want to see it. It's way too big for us to list here. I would rather shoot myself than say all of them in a row.
Are you ready?
Oh God.
Oh. Gotta center myself. Advanced Paradox Amplifiers, Adventure Tokens, all bounties and quests from Seasons of Forge, Seasons of Justice, Seasons of Opulence, all ritual and pinnacle weapon quests. The gear will become available in our Monument to Lost Lights Exotic Archive, Black Armory Schematic Consumables, Boons of Opulence, Breaktext Schematic, Cade's Odds and Ends, Concentrated radiolarian culture, dance party keys, expired ramen coupons, faction war materials, faded card, five of swords challenge card, forged polymers, imperials, letter fragments, Ludapalooza keys, lost memory fragments, modulus report consumables, motes, weak, middling, powerful, collector, invader, reaper, sentry, notes from Cade, obsidian accelerators, obsidian radiance temper effect, including those applied on weapons, override frequencies, paradox amplifier, radiant matrix, radiolarian culture, Rasputin armor code, resonant stem consumables, rune fighter, synths, Collector Sentry, Invader Reaper, Tokens, Dead Orbit, Future War Cult, Lu Monarchy, Transcripts, Treasure Maps, EDZ, Titan, Io, Nessus, Mercury, Hellas Basin, Mars, Wealth of the Emperor Bus. I stumbled over myself there a lot, but, you know, you get the gist. You can just, if you want to know those, slow it down.
Or just go read the list.
Yeah. So I didn't see this, but did you watch it?
I skimmed it after the fact. So
okie dokie. Then you're talking about it.
Yeah.
Go.
Luke Smith had an interview today with Twitch Gaming or whatever it is. And there wasn't a ton of stuff in there. But a couple little things that I happened to notice. He said that Beyond Light is larger in scope than Shadowkeep, but smaller than Forsaken. Apparently, with the current size of the team, it's essentially not possible. And like, this is stuff they've kind of talked about before, where essentially with the funding for the project and with the size of the team, Bungie can't really create content that is in the same size as Forsaken while also committing to the continued seasonal content. So essentially, they're trying to give us a little bit of both, and trying to focus really hard on making sure that the seasons themselves don't feel hollow. So hopefully they pull it off. We'll see. There is this kind of soft confirmation that Bungie is toying with the idea of adding additional darkness themed subclasses in the future.
Well, the Vidoc kind of confirms it.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it a little bit more later, but when at one point in the Vidoc they show them swapping from light to darkness, the prompt says select darkness subclasses.
Yeah.
So
it's obviously something they're playing with. That's really cool. I feel like everyone was kind of assuming that was probably going to be the case. I guess we'll just have to wait and see what awaits us in the future. They mentioned a vendor refresh again, which I'm pretty sure was already confirmed. Though, something that was noted is they only mention armor. They don't mention weapons. So I've had this feeling that we were going to be stuck with the same Crucible and Vanguard weapons that we've had, and that seems like that's going to be the case, which is stupid, but whatever.
Yeah.
But the one thing...
I hope they add more before those all get poofed.
I imagine they'll just either pull back old ones that aren't currently in the pool, or they'll just refresh the existing ones for
give me new Better Devils.
I mean, yeah, Better Devils would be nice. But the thing from the interview that actually matters is there was a Transmog update. Specifically, the one thing that everyone's been asking about is, do we need to hold on to all of our old shit to make sure that we can use it in Transmog? And the answer is a resounding no. Get rid of all of your old garbage. Transmog
Clean
will pull
house
from collections,
it's all done.
Not from inventory. You are free of your chains. Get rid of all of your old garbage.
You're welcome.
Thank God.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's absolutely no way in hell that this wasn't going to be the case, but it is very nice to have it confirmed. There is some
for real
additional wiping I'm going to be doing with my vault.
Yep, same here. Because I didn't save a whole lot because I had faith that Bungie would not manage to not screw this up.
Yep.
But it's nice to have confirmation.
Absolutely. Let's see. And yeah, that's it from the interview. So from this point on, if there is anyone who cares, everything we are talking about after this is from the Vidoc or from the launch trailer, which, if you're the kind of person who is avoiding all pre-release info and don't want any potential story stuff spoiled, I don't know, like, mute the podcast and play through the rest of it, and then just come back to it later, or just leave.
Yeah. Get out of here. We don't want you anyway. Hey, guys. Wait. I see. Yeah, you didn't want... You've seen it. Yeah, go away. All right, now we're good. This Vidoc is awesome.
I know! Oh my god, it's so good.
There's so much stuff. We wrote down a bunch of stuff we want to call out here. It's not an exhaustive list of everything in there. Go check it out yourself. It'll be the same thing for the launch trailer, where I think we're only talking about one specific thing from that. The rest of it, just go see it.
Yeah, the Vidoc is 15 minutes long, but I promise you it's worth it. The launch trailer is like 2.5 minutes. There's not...
And it has got an awesome cover of Paint It Black.
Yeah, it does. There's not much new stuff in there, but it looks really cool. Just go watch it anyway.
Actually, for the benefit of all of our listeners... For the benefit of all of our listeners, I'm going to throw in a link to the actual cover as well.
Oh, yes. It really is tremendous. Not necessarily the kind of thing I would listen to on a regular basis, because it's not really, like, you kind of got to be in a mood for it, but it's damn good. So, holy shit. I think for me, the most, because I want to devour the, oh no, yeah, we should do the Vidoc first. Oh,
yeah, we absolutely should.
Yeah. Okay. So, at about
almost right off the top.
Yeah, almost right off the top. At about 1:18, there's this freaky ship, which I think we've seen before in one of the trailers, where it's just like this this rotating geometrical thing.
You know what it looks just like? Is Ronan the Avengers ship from Guardians of the Galaxy. Or Ronan the... What was his name? Not Ronan the Avenger.
Oh, fuck. I can't remember his, like, title.
Yeah, anyway, it looked just like his ship. I think it did... Or Thanos. Which of their ships did that, where it rotated like that? I think it was Ronan. Ronan the Accuser.
Yeah, Ronan's... Like, it's not exactly the same, because this one's more just kind of, like, this simpler shape. But, yeah, it had the, like, rotating kind of thing, too.
Yeah.
It looks really cool. Maybe it's the Stranger's ship? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either. Like, the pyramid's already there, so it's probably not a Darkness ship. Unless it's Aramis's, but that doesn't make... I don't know if that makes sense either.
Yeah, I don't know. It looks fucking... Whatever it is, it looks really cool.
Yeah. Can we have one?
Please?
Yeah. They also talk about how the next year, these seasons are going to focus on all the characters and factions and how they react to all those destinations going away. One of the coolest things they show there is our boy Zavala standing with Osiris and a couple Cabal.
Yeah. So that's something that kind of I think is tied more to the seasonal content than which we know the name of now. It's Season of the Hunt. Then is tied to Beyond Light, specifically because Osiris is there, which we'll get into later.
Yep.
But it's a really fucking wild image. To just the idea of, because like we've had this idea floating around about us potentially having some sort of alliance with the Cabal for a while, but that's always been with Callus's Cabal,
the Loyalists,
not with fucking Red Legionaries. Like, holy shit.
The guys who ravaged the city, what, 2 years ago at this point?
Yeah, half a year ago they tried to drop a fucking ship on our heads.
Yeah.
And now we're just chilling in a room with them because the universe is so fucked. Yeah. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Then we see the stranger snooping around and opening a little case that has a, what is it? The Splinter of Dark in it.
Yeah.
What's interesting about that shot is that we've already seen that from Varrix's point of view. In an earlier trailer, it's when he's sending out the distress signal, and we see the stranger in the background. And then we see the little case sitting there.
Yeah.
And in the launch trailer, we see Varrix trudging through the snow carrying that little case. So I'm curious. I wonder if he steals that from Aramis as evidence, and then it calls in a distress signal. And what part he has to play in it. Because, like, he might die. Like, I'm really worried about our boy.
If they... I think I've already said this on the podcast. If they kill Varrix, I am burning Bungie to the fucking ground. They cannot do this to me.
No, there's no... That would be unfair. He's holding me back. They're holding me back from being with my boy.
Yeah. We finally get him back, and no, you're not allowed to take him.
Yeah, no.
He's here to stay now.
Hey, Joe, our Guardian talks again.
Thank
it's, confirmed
fuck.
again. Even though I think we already heard him talk in the trailer.
Yeah, but
still.
Yeah, still. It would be really nice if we have more than like 7 lines. But
yeah.
I mean, honestly, at this point, I will take us talking at all.
Yeah, same here. You wrote this down. I didn't, so you talk about it.
Oh yeah. So there's this random thing where we get a glimpse at 3 weapons. It's like an SMG, I don't know, like a scout or something, and a grenade launcher that I don't think we'd seen in any of the previous trailers, and I don't know what they come from. Like, they're this kind of nondescript gray boxy weapons.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Like, maybe they're tied to whatever, because I mean, we're all assuming that Season of the Hunt has some specific activity that it's built around. Like, maybe they drop from that. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a mystery.
Yeah. Looks like Stranger is the Europa vendor, which
just the way they show her in the Vidoc standing there, I get the feeling she's the Europa vendor.
Yeah.
And then we see 6 Guardians land on an outcropping over a some sort of orange lit looking ruin. Could be the raid entrance.
Yeah,
it looks like a raid fly-in.
I don't think we've seen a raid fly-in in a trailer before.
Technically, I think we have, since the opening for Crown of Sorrow takes place in that room in the menagerie.
Yeah, I guess. We'll see. It's possible that it's some sort of 6-man activity that's tied to Beyond Light, though honestly I don't think so.
No.
My first thought was that if it's not the raid fly-in, it's a fly-in for a seasonal activity for Season of the Hunt. But for reasons that we'll kind of get into later, doesn't seem to be possible.
You know what just occurred to me? You know who's been missing from the Vidoc and the launch trailer?
Huh.
Ikora. We haven't seen her at all.
Huh. Yeah, that's true.
So that's interesting.
Why did you put that in my head? How dare you? Fuck you.
Yeah.
I don't want to think about that.
I'll go with I think we can just go with the obvious answer, which is they probably just couldn't get Gina Torres.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me.
We see in the Vidoc, or was it in the launch trailer?
I can't remember which.
Aramis punches a servitor. We kind of expected that, though, because of how different shots from previous trailers lined up.
Yep. So it looks like
I think my one of my favorite parts, at 517, we see a warlock about to poop on the nice clean Clovis Bray floors. But then immediately after that, we see something that's also really cool. At 523, we see the new character screen, and it's dark mode.
Yeah. It looks really good.
Yeah, did you notice what happens, though?
When it changes colors when they swap to the darkness subclass?
Yep. Yeah. It goes from like an orange white to a blue light when you switch from light to dark.
It's really fucking cool. I love it.
What's cool is the tooltips that show up when you hover over those. When you hover over the darkness ones, it says select darkness subclasses, and then it says embrace the power within and unleash it upon the physical world. And then when they swap to it, you can see the light subclasses tooltip, and it says wield the traveler's gift to bend cosmic nature.
Yep.
So the other cool thing you see on that screen is the logos for Beyond Light and Season of the Hunt. You can see the Aramis logo for the for Beyond Lights, which is obvious. And then you see the Aldrin logo for the Season of the Hunt. So it looks like those theories of that node on the Triumphs page being the Cosmodrome is wrong. That's probably the seasonal one.
Yep. Which, what makes a whole lot of sense now that we know what we know about Season of the Hunt.
Yep. And it means that, and also what the Vidoc did a little bit later is it showed us that Shah Han is not Aldrin. So everyone can shut up about that.
People thought that?
Yeah, people seriously did think that. It had some backing, but even though it made literally no sense.
Are people fucking stupid?
I mean, yeah.
All right,
we have Dave Samuel in the Vidoc, but he doesn't make any cool sounds.
Boo.
Yeah. But in reality, I think one of my favorite things with the Vidoc is all the Foley stuff they cover. Because Foley work is just so fascinating to me.
God, I would do a lot of things to be able to spend a day with their Foley team and just like listen to all of their stories about what they do for sound design for Destiny.
Want to know a cool Foley fact?
Huh.
Do you know how they made the blaster sounds for Star Wars?
I feel like I know the answer, but I can't remember what the thing is called.
They smacked a high tension wire with a wrench.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think I've seen a video of someone doing that.
Yeah, it's such a cool sound.
It is a really cool sound.
The one thing from the Foley work is that we're getting a breast pump sniper. Pog. We'll leave it at that. You were looking at this more in depth than I was.
Yeah. So before we get into the Season of the Hunt stuff, at one point in the Vidoc, they show a map of the Cosmodrome, which on the map, it contains the Steppes, Moth Yards, Lunar Complex, Skywatch, Terrestrial Complex, and the Forgotten Shore, which is essentially the full Cosmodrome, except for the areas that are specifically used for strikes. So everything that's used for Devil's Lair isn't there. And everything that's used for the other one that I can't remember because I'm fucking brain dead. The Big Shank one.
Saber 4.
Yeah, Saber 4. We literally talked about Saber 4 earlier, and I already forgot. And Saber 4 isn't there, and then like the very beginning area when you start a new character isn't there, but that stuff being off the map is not really that surprising. That's kind of just how Destiny maps work.
Yeah.
So essentially the full Cosmo is there, which lines up with what Bungie had said before, which is really cool. And I think I didn't put it in the show notes, but I think I saw it stated somewhere that you should be able to do the new light quest stuff on existing characters.
Yeah, they mentioned that before, and I really hope so because I kind of want to I really do want to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still going to start a new character to do it. I'm just going to go to the alt account that I already have and just, I don't know, I'll probably do it on my, well, actually, I can just boot it up on a different Steam account and test it out because I want to make sure that I want the full New Light experience.
Yeah, same here.
Because I'm
way we
just
can
curious.
review the full New Light experience.
Yeah, we can complain about how shit it's probably.
We'll
still
do
gonna
New
be.
Light so you don't have to, but you'll want to anyway because you're a Destiny player.
Yeah,
and leaving content undone is not in our nature.
yeah, and so they didn't give us a ton of info about Season of the Hunt, but we do know that Season of the Hunt is going to the central story is that Zivu Arath is poking around and is using spooky mind control tech to build an army for some reason. So you and Osiris are going to team up to stop her. There will be a guest appearance by Pulled Pork. Oh, and Aldrin's there now, which I'm really fucking excited about.
Yeah.
The one story beat in all of Destiny I have been waiting to see followed up on the most has been Aldrin being revived and being a guardian now, and I am I didn't think it was possible for me to be more excited about the fucking seasonal content than I am about the main release, but I am, because Aldrin is a really fucking cool character, and I am really, really excited to see what they do with him. As everyone's kind of been expecting, and I think it may have even been called out before in lore, Aldrin is going by the name Crow. It seems like he's allied with the Spider, based off
I get
his
that vibe.
outfit and some of the stuff they show in the Vidoc. And the first thing we see is him running a knight through with a sword, specifically Abide the Return, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it is kind of funny that he uses that.
Yeah. But yeah, there's not a whole lot. It looks like the seasonal content is going to be a lot of us going around to all the existing destinations to disrupt rituals that are being performed, a specific, like the rituals that are being performed to corrupt and mind control enemies in those locations. So I guess that's what our new seasonal activity is going to be. I don't know. We'll probably find out more when we get it, I guess.
I mean, they're adding it to the Dreaming City, which is awesome.
Yeah, they
us an excuse to
explicitly
go
show
back.
Dreaming City footage, but I mean, there's no way it's just going to be there. I'd imagine Nessus will have to get used for something. I'd be surprised if it wasn't on the EDZ as well. So we'll probably be bouncing around everywhere to do that activity, maybe on like a weekly basis, like what happened with the fucking towers last season. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. And then we have one thing to talk. We really want to talk about from the launch trailer. Again, really cool. Link to it in the show notes. But I think you're a little more excited to talk about it than I am.
Yeah. So I think we'd seen this in, I can't remember if we'd seen this in one of the other trailers, but we now explicitly see the Exo Stranger using stasis, as well as Eris using stasis, and presumably the Drifter has it too. It would be really weird for two of the three to have it and for him not to. But in traditional Drifter fashion, we don't really see him doing much combat in the trailer, except for throwing a grenade and pulling his gun out like he's going to shoot something, but then not shooting anything.
Yeah.
Which is really on brand for him as a character. But it's really cool. It looks like Eris has essentially had stasis powers since we saw that spooky cutscene where she went back into the pyramid and touched the statue with her orb, and it did that whole like darkness effect thing that you can see on the tree in the crater on Io. So she's had stasis powers this whole time and hasn't shared them. Fuck you, Eris. How dare you hold out on me?
Yeah, for real.
But yeah, it's maybe there's this whole dynamic of essentially there potentially being like two versions of the Vanguard, essentially, with the main Vanguard currently only two members, and then the like Darkness Vanguard, for lack of a better phrase.
I mean, that is pretty much the best way to put it.
Yeah. Being Eris, the Drifter, and the Exo Stranger. When do we get to stop calling her the Exo Stranger, by the way?
Hopefully this season.
Like, we know who she is.
Yeah. Yeah. Here's hoping we'll find out here this season officially, and then we can stop calling her that.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be very nice. There's a lot of stuff in the reveal trailer that people are reading way too much into. Or the launch trailer. Like, there's one point where you see this spooky exo eye, and I've seen a lot of people saying that it's probably Clovis, or that that it's Clovis, and Clovis is going to be the final raid boss, which, I mean, might be true. But even if that is true, I'm pretty sure that's not Clovis's eye, because again, Bungie doesn't show raid stuff in trailers. Yeah. They just don't. Like, that's been their rule. They've literally never done it. So
yeah, why would they start now?
Yeah, I would be astounded if they broke that rule. They go almost completely dark on those. The most we've ever seen raid wise is like a fly-in, like we potentially saw this time, or the weapons. Like, sometimes we've seen whatever the raid exotic is beforehand, but that's it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So. Well, like they talked about, they talked about the raid exotic for Garden way early on.
Yeah,
when they first talked about it, it's just as a fusion rifle that made something a big crit point.
Yeah, I don't think we had even seen it yet, but yeah, they mentioned it. Like in the weapon trailer for Forsaken, you explicitly see 1K, and the weapon trailer for Season of the Forge, you see Anarchy and it used. But yeah,
what if it's Hawkmoon?
That would be really surprising.
Yeah, it would be.
My current guess right now is that it's the grenade launcher.
Another grenade launcher, another raid heavy though.
It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, on the roadmap, it points out that Savathun's Grip is an exotic quest, but I mean, Divinity was an exotic quest, so I'm not sure that explicitly means that Savathun's Grip can't be a I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Anyway, that is pretty much all we have, though, right?
Yeah, that was a lot.
We're just under an hour.
This is a lot of stuff.
So thanks for sticking with us, because this is a big one. Like I said at the beginning of the show, you can follow our show at Mean Machine Cast on Twitter. And be sure to tell your friends about it, because word of mouth is huge for podcasts like ours. You can follow me on Twitter at MattRossVO, or on Twitch and YouTube at Jan Jingle.
And you can find me on Twitter at How Tall It Would, and on Twitch also at How Tall It Would. I don't really do any Destiny stuff there, but I speedrun some games. Primarily right now I'm speedrunning The Messenger. Come on along, we have a good time. And yeah.
Yeah. And while you're at it, go check out my other show, Pop Culture Unboxing, where me and my friends Ryan and Zach talk about mostly just movies and gaming and stuff. Anyway, thank you all for listening.
Fuck you guys.
Bye. I love you.